Hey you guys, it's me Gemstone from tarotforhealing.com. I hope you guys are doing really well. This is for the cancers. I'm sorry I'm like adjusting my headset and all that kind of stuff. I should have done it before pressing the button, but I nearly forgot to wear my headset. I don't know why when it comes to you guys, cancer, I always forget to wear the headset. It's really weird. And then you can't hear me and then I have to redo the video. It's really strange. But I don't know, do you have kind of some Mercury stuff going on with you? I'm not sure. Because again, I'm not an astrologer. I am a tarot reader. I do incorporate like some astrology into what I do, but not to the extent of like a proper astrologer does. So yeah, maybe at some point I'll learn more about astrology and get more into it. When I'm kind of when I want to take a break from all the card studying, the tarot studies that I do. So, first thing I would say is I am going to be using the playing cards. Some people really like the playing cards, so I decided to bring them back. I really like using them as well, but I like to have a break. I always have to switch things up. You guys know that. But so the first thing I would say, looking at your playing cards, then looking at your tarot cards, is please don't let this be a time in November where you're going to focus on just the crappy stuff that's going on. Because I think that there are going to be some hard stuff you're going to be going through in November. Only because I laid your cards out the first time the Three of Swords came up, and then I put them back together, shuffled them up again, and I used then the playing cards, which is completely different. I was doing that with the tarot cards, then I did that with the playing cards, and then it came back in the playing cards again. So the Three of Swords is like really going to be coming into effect for you, and the Three of Swords is a challenging kind of energy. Basically I'm going to start with the playing cards and I'm going to get into them. So it's like the King of Diamonds is the first one, then the Three of Spades, which will be like the Three of Swords, and the Three of Hearts, and the Six of Spades. So I almost feel like the cards are telling you that exact same thing. It's like it's kind of telling you that don't let heartbreak or sadness or disappointments kind of get you down. It's going to be difficult, but you're going to be moving on. Like that's almost like what they're saying. It's like where you feel that you've been lacking in love from some other place, you're going to be getting that love from someone. It's so weird, but I almost feel like the weekly reading that I did, the general one, I almost feel like this is kind of connecting a bit with your situation. And trust me, like I did sort of like I did that reading and then I completely like disconnected from that reading, and then I was just thinking of water and every like to kind of connect to your energy, because I didn't want to bring that reading's energy into yours, if you get what I'm saying. Sometimes that can happen as a reader. And so I really gave myself that time, and then when I laid them down I almost felt like it was giving that similar message, even though I was really focusing on you, like Cancer. So I feel like they're kind of connected messages. But what I'm seeing in your cards is basically I feel like you took a relationship seriously. If you're in a relationship, you took it really seriously. It's like you thought this was going somewhere. Like to me, this king is like he's responsible. Like he wants to do things in a more traditional way. He wants to be secure. He wants to be possibly even married, or he wants to be serious in a relationship. And maybe you were, but then it's like it's saying that there's going to be an issue that arises. It could lead to separation, or it could lead to just feeling like things are just not going the way you would have hoped. And then but it's saying that even though you may not get the love, or you may not get what you need from this other person, it doesn't matter, because it's like love is still around you. Love is still there. You have two threes in your cards. And so, but I feel almost like these threes are connecting with somebody that wanted a family. And again, wanted to settle down. But it's saying that this may not be the time for you to create that family unit, because three is about creation as well. It may not have been the time for you to create that unit. Maybe you have to create something else, because we as human beings, we're always creating all the time. Every day we're creating something. But sometimes what we're focused on isn't exactly what we need to be making at that time in our lives. Maybe the circumstances just isn't the right time, but it's kind of saying that you're going to be moving on. It's like gradually it's like you're moving on with a bit of sadness within yourself, feeling a little bit defeated, but then at the same time it's like it's giving you the opportunity to sail into something else. You're going into a new situation, but this new situation is like you're carrying the old with you still. So this heartbreak or this sadness, it will kind of stay with you, but it's like you're going to be gradually easing away from it. But then it's almost like you have to give yourself that time to kind of process what's happened, kind of maybe cry, get it all out, and then that's when we can fully move on. But I see November as being the time where you're kind of dealing with this issue that's come up, and it's going to be the time for you to kind of deal with processing all that emotions and all that stuff that comes along with it. um yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. And it's so interesting that you got two threes and then you got six as well, which is like they're all kind of interconnected. So six is, to me, is kind of saying that, again, that's why I'm saying that this situation is moving you into something else. It's moving you into something different. And still, it might not even be that whatever is you're moving into is that bad. It's like, because six can still be about peace, harmony, and love. But again, I just almost feel like you're not getting the love from maybe the person that you wanted, but it doesn't mean that love isn't around you. Even if it's not necessarily that you can see a love interest in your life, it could be just saying that, you get the love from your family, you get the love from your friends, you get the love from the unit of people that surround you, because it's almost like you are a loving person. But sometimes it's like the person that maybe we want or we desire just maybe doesn't feel the same way, or maybe you're just having issues with that person, and then those issues have to be worked out. For some of you guys, you might even have an issue with a person, and it may not lead to a complete separation. Maybe it's just that the two of you are going to be trying to sort of progressively work on things. But I almost feel like if you do stay with this person and you are trying to sort of work on things, it's like in your heart you're not going to forget that thing that they did that caused you to hurt in the first place. And cancers, you guys are like that, I know for a fact. Because I've dealt with cancers in the past, and I'm telling you, like, if you hurt a cancer, they're not gonna get over it just like that. They're not, like, they hold on to stuff, like you guys hold on to things. And so even if, like, you stay with that person, like, you're not gonna forget, like, that they did you that way. And I think that's sort of what I'm seeing here with your cards. So again, that could be speaking of a relationship and stuff. But then I'm going to get into your other tarot cards, well, your tarot cards, and I'm using the Chrysalis Tarot. That's this gorgeous deck right here. It's really lovely. I've never used this one for like a monthly reading, but I feel so comfortable using this deck now, so I've decided to use it. And you have the Ace of Spirals, which would be the Ace of Wands in like a traditional tarot, well, Rider-Waite kind of base deck. And then you have the Six of Stones, which would be the Six of Pentacles in a Rider-Waite kind of deck. And so, or like very traditional deck. So the Six of Stones and the Ace of Spirals is kind of saying, I think for a work situation, your work is kind of looking good in November. Like you're moving into new surroundings, different places, something, an exciting opportunity can show up for you, something that is really good. As you can see in this card, it's like you have this ram that's here. And rams, they are quick animals. They like, and then they just barge into stuff. When they're fighting with their horns and stuff. So I'm kind of seeing, like, for you, it's a fast energy, it's fast moving, and you're going like head first into something, and it's quick. And I think that the reason why you're moving so fast is because it's almost like a gateway has been opened for you to finally just take this chance. And I just see you really going for whatever this chance is. And I think it's because somebody else has opened this up to you. Somebody has given you this chance. Maybe this has been something you've been wanting for some time, and it's like now things are finally like happening. And so it's like you have to really take this opportunity and go for it. And so And the thing is that I love about like this card and this interpretation is, to me, it's kind of saying whatever you choose now or whatever you do now is going to be hanging around in your life for quite a long time. So this could be the start of something that could, really be beneficial for you, really be fruitful, really turn into something that can be very profitable, where you can really make some good money. This could even be, maybe you get the opportunity to invest in something that has a really good payoff down the line. But what I'm kind of seeing here is that this thing that you're going to be taking part in, it really has some the it really opens up something for you that not only is new and exciting, but something that can be very profitable. And it's almost like this could be from the generosity of somebody else. So it could be that somebody again is giving you an opportunity or telling you about something that is very profitable. It all comes down to go, like, this whole thing is through someone else, like through some kind of third party. Or again, it could be that you even go for a brand new job, applying for something that is fun, new, and different, exciting. So if you've been looking for something that is like that, this month could be the time where it really happens for you. So this might be a really good time, if you haven't yet, to like put out applications if you are hoping for some kind of new and fresh opportunity, because something may actually turn up. Or it might be good just to tell people that you're interested in some kind of new field or something like that, or new ways of making money, people that obviously are, connected to that kind of thing. And they might have some avenues, that you can use that can profit you. So yeah, it looks like a good time for like work related stuff and finances. But then for those of you that are in relationships, you have the Ace of Scrolls with the Star card. And I almost feel like these cards are kind of tying in with the cards that the singles also receive, which is the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune. Altogether, what them cards are kind of telling me is, I think for those of you that are in relationships, the Ace of Scrolls and the Star card could be saying that um it's about a relationship where it's almost like that person may seem, what's the best way, like the person could almost have a feeling of a soulmate, or the person could have a feeling of like a, almost like a dream person, like either meeting somebody that you find very attractive, or meeting somebody that really stimulates you on an intellectual level. Like it's almost like you find someone and that person feels like if they're not a perfect fit, they're almost like what they're your type, basically. They may feel like they are exactly the type of person that you want in your life. And that can sound like really positive and really good. The only thing that I feel with the Star is, the Star is a really beautiful card. Like it's always my favorite card, like in usually every deck that I like the Star is usually my favorite one. um so it can be really lovely. But I think the thing about the Star card as well is, again, because it's connected with our wishes, sometimes again there's a difference between what we wish for and reality. And so I almost feel like what could be the situation here is that if you are already in a relationship with somebody, and I almost see that this could have been a really great relationship, or a really hopeful relationship, where things could have been going well, or when you met the person initially, you may have really felt that spark with this other person. But then something about facing the reality of this relationship is what is causing the conflict. It's almost like what you hoped for may not match up with the reality of what is actually happening, or what you're actually seeing of this person. And so that might be where it's like you have to deal with that. Or it even could be, and this is why I was saying that these cards to me are feeling like they really connect with the cards that I did for your for the weekly general reading, is because it could be a situation where you're wanting to commit to that person, and maybe that person just isn't ready. It may not necessarily mean that that person doesn't have feelings for you, but it could just mean that maybe this person just wants to keep things the way they are, and doesn't really see the importance of marriage, or maybe of moving in together, of really doing what people tend to think that they should do. When you've been together for a while, people tend to think, oh, at some point you have to live together, at some point you have to get married, at some point you have to, and some people don't want to do that kind of thing, but you may be wanting that, but they may not be. So maybe that's like the one thing out of everything else that is kind of causing conflict between the two of you. um so yeah. But then so what I would say to the singles, which receiving the Wheel of Fortune, or the Death card came first in there. Yeah, receiving the Wheel of Fortune with the Death card, I'm kind of feeling like you are, the Death card is kind of, it's almost like it's showing that circumstances are changing. Death to a situation could mean, it doesn't have to always mean that it, again, it's just out and out separation. It could just mean an ending of a cycle or an ending of a phase. So this ending of cycles, ending of phases, again, it could be mean that now you're seeing the reality. Maybe you have to face that, okay, this relationship isn't going to go exactly the way I want it to, or exactly the way I pictured, but now I have to kind of think of it in a different way and approach it in a different way. Or maybe you communicate with your partner, and between you and your partner, you have to kind of just decide, okay, maybe the things that I had hoped for, I had planned, I have to change those so that we're both on the same page. Like maybe there has to be a compromise that needs to be made. It could mean that the relationship itself, yeah, maybe has taken some kind of turn. um and again, that turn it may not have been expected, it may not have been something that you felt ready to deal with, but it's kind of saying, okay, now it's here, now this circumstance has happened. And especially being that you have a lot of actually major arcana cards in your relationships, whether you are single or not. So for some of you guys, it's saying that whatever's happening in your relationship, regardless of whether it's challenging or not, it was destined to happen. So it was your destiny for this circumstance to take place. And so, and obviously whatever is destined for us, it means that there's something really important that we're supposed to get from that situation. So regardless of how your relationship is looking, it's kind of saying that this is a time for you to kind of take in what is happening, and there is something that you're supposed to learn out of this situation if you really pay close attention. So it could even be telling you that maybe these circumstances are happening because maybe you have to learn something about relationships. Maybe there's something that you've carried with you this whole time, like maybe you just had um this really sort of imaginary view of relationships, and maybe now it's sort of telling you that, you know what, you have to be more realistic. You have to really know what relate or the hard work that goes into these kind of relationships in order for you to really see, okay, are we going to continue this, or is it just going to break apart because maybe this person isn't fully meeting all your expectations. It can be that kind of thing as well. Also, for those of you that are single and like don't have anyone in your life, the Death card with the Wheel of Fortune could be saying that again, it's a death to an old situation that can really transform things into a new situation. So maybe there's something, maybe you might be deciding to transform your own self. This could be in the way you think, in the way you approach relationships. This could be even in your look. Maybe you're doing something to make yourself look different. Maybe you're transforming your physical appearance as well. And that could be the death to the old self and a birthing of a new self. And it's almost like saying that whatever changes or transformations is, if you are single, that you are taking could actually maybe even improve your chances for you to find somebody, or find somebody even better than even what you had hoped for, with that Wheel of Fortune showing up there. So yes, I feel like these cards are kind of going either way. But then your spiritual cards, you have the Eight of Spirals with the Nine of Scrolls. Whew, so interesting. The very first thing I see, and these are interesting as spiritual cards, because I can't help but feel that there, and I think that I think a lot of your cards are speaking of a relationship. I can't help but to feel that way. It's speaking of a relationship. So I feel like even if you don't have somebody in your life, like whatsoever, this could even be somebody else in your life that you're going through this process with. where again, like, there is, you feel upset because of the way someone has treated you, or you feel upset because of some news that, because this card usually represents news that is coming to you, something that has been created or manifested that is now being brought to you. And then the Nine of Scrolls is like, she just looks fed up, like, with everything. She looks like, I've kept on trying, I've kept on doing the same thing, I've kept on, working at this situation, but then nothing is really happening, nothing is coming about. I feel like these cards are saying, on a spiritual level, don't feel too disheartened over things that don't go your way in the month of November, because the Eight of Spirals kind of is saying that, you know what, um all of this is coming about, but it doesn't have to mean that it's going to always be this way. It's a moving energy. It's an energy that comes, and it's an energy that goes, and then it turns into something else. So, if something has to, if you have to let go of something, whether it's a relationship, friendship, even if it's somebody that that is that you see on a regular basis, or that you had some kind of connection with, and things just aren't going the way they're supposed to, you have to kind of let that situation go eventually. There has to be a period where you kind of just give yourself that time. I almost feel like, do you know what it really is that I'm sensing in these cards? I feel like you're going to be disappointed over the things that you cannot control. It's an upset over the things that the universe has put in place for you. And again, sometimes we have to understand that sometimes the biggest messages that we receive comes from the greatest hardships that we go through. And a lot of us are going through a lot of upheavals, trust me, a lot of us are. And the only thing we can do is go through it and deal with it as best we can. And then when we come out the other side, really look back and say, do you know what? I came through that experience. It's made me stronger. It's made me wiser. It's made me better as a person. Because, that's your choice. You can either let something get the best of you, or you can just approach it the best way you know how. And so I think that that's kind of what you need to do in this month. That's what I kind of see with your cards, Cancer. So peace and many blessings to you. I'll see you. Bye.